Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to PBTV. We're joined by two very special guests today. Travelled great distances to see us. One including coming from overseas from Denmark, but it is a great pleasure to introduce the two brains behind Waldo Customs. So we have Jeppe and Waldo themselves. So if you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Jeppe, and I'm one half of Waldo Customs. And
I'm Waldo. I'm the face side of Waldo Customs.
So we're here to just find out where their brands come from, where they started in airsoft, where they're going, all that kind of stuff. So if you've seen their products before, if you use their items, anything like that, if you've got any questions that you want to put to them, by all means drop them in the comments below. We will flash them up on screen and try and answer them as quickly as we can. So very interactive, so if you want to be involved, please do so, and we'll try and get as much information out to you as possible. If these guys are making some bits that you are interested in and you want to start tricking out your platforms, definitely throw your questions out. But I think we will start it off where we normally do with people. But where did you discover airsoft and what really got you into it? Because obviously you didn't really just go, I'm going to make an airsoft company and customize things. You had to sort of get your hands on it and fall in love with it a little bit. Where did that sort of story begin?
Well, I've been airsofting since 2019. No, since I was 19 years old. Since I was 19 years old, and then I did that for a few years, and I got really into Speedsoft and made some great connections there, and eventually came into contact with a company called Tap Airsoft, and they sponsored me for a bit. They're extremely lovely, and they showed me like the production side of airsoft and manufacturing things, and I found it really, really interesting. And so I helped them a bit with some projects, and after a while I wanted to do it on my own. So I did it as a part-time thing outside of work after I'd finished my boring job. And pretty soon after, Jeppe joined me. And how'd you start?
Well, I started for the airsoft part itself. I started way back, when I was 12 years old in a different country. I walked in as a kid, and I walked out very much poor with a lot of airsoft equipment, and it's pretty much been going on since then as a hobby and then work. And I was working at a company in Austria, and I left that to do freelance consulting, and pretty much around the same time we hit it off because I knew you from UK. And we made one product and two products and then a website, and it sort of went from there.
So that sort of want to start making stuff, was that you seeing items that didn't quite fit? Obviously the speed softening thing is very sort of not really cutting edge, but it's a very sort of extreme build level. Was the things that you were looking at and wanting to make things that didn't exist, or you'd had failures and you thought, can we make this better? Is that where your sort of initial idea came from, or was it just wanting to be in the airsoft sphere really?
I think it was a combination of both, because Jeppe joined me very shortly after I had just released the first Kappa spring, and I released that, and Jeppe thought it was really cool, and he wanted to join up and team up with me, and so we went 50-50 immediately after then. But the reason I started that was just because I noticed someone didn't make a spring in a percentage I really liked. There was no middle ground. And then later down the line, it was Jeppe's awesome idea to get all the springs in our signature finish, which is like incredibly polished.
That was a discussion.
That's what a lot of people don't know. I was really against it. I was really not for it because
you know how much it costs.
It costs so much money. But we did it, and I'm so glad we did, because it puts us in the Hall of Fame, really, I think. in terms of like a really cool little innovation on such a simple part.
So it's just even like if you're looking at someone's on a field and you pull it back and you see a little gold spring, you're like,
you know it now.
That's mine. Because no one else does that colour.
No,
all that kind of thing. Even the shirt's yellow now.
Yeah.
You're just falling into that brand line.
We own that colour now.
Yeah, but like basically, like if you want to use anything that's yellow in any industry now, you get a license from Waldo Customs. I'm kidding.
So when it comes to it, then obviously you started with springs. Growing from that, obviously it started with a Kappa spring. As an idea, and you've branched out into so what are the sort of main sort of bread and butter products that you've brought to market that you can now see, like you could literally go to a site and see or get hold of yourself?
Well, our springs, and we do short stroke kits for different GBB pistols and stuff like that. They are our beginnings and have honestly funded everything we've done. Like they are our entry level baseline, and then we went to lubricant and stuff like that.
It's a spread across all the products, so there's not one product that is like this is the core product deliver. It's the product brands. So the nozzle springs is a brand. The recoil springs is a brand. Like you have Snappy Boy and Little Snap and so on. The Slick silicone loop is a brand as well. And within each brand group, we have tons of products. And there's not one specific product. It's actually spread out. So the brands are strong, not just the products.
Definitely.
So working as a team then, coming together, and when you sort of not butt heads together, but where does the sort of idea for that next product come from? Is it does one of you have the tech mind and one have the design side, or does one of you come to the other and go, I wish my platform did this, I wish this did this, or are you putting feelers out for other people to and trying to fit gaps where players are going, my AAP doesn't do this?
This is an interesting question that we've actually thought about and answered before. And the thing is, I have like 20 years experience with Airsoft and I know exactly what I want and so on. But I don't particularly represent the consumer anymore because I'm so particular. And Waldo does. So Waldo actually has the ideas for the products. And then I'm the one that does more of the sourcing and the technical side of it. And of course, like, we're together about it. It's not like he has an idea, I go away and here's the product. No, it's like we're constantly working together. So I would say together we have the ideas, but Waldo has the ideas from what the market wants.
So it's that whole thing of, yes, you've quite accepted that you're a niche player. And I mean, I've seen some of your builds. My M4 was built by you many years ago. And understanding that you are a unique player, you've been able to take yourself out of that. You've come along and you go, right, so players will actually want it this way. So in the world of springs, what is the range that people can do with? So you've mentioned like the nozzle springs and things like that. So what are the upgrades and benefits that your springs give to different platforms across different things?
Well, there's lots of different things that our springs offer, but the main thing that we go for is we want something that's durable, reliable, consistent, and butter smooth. And as the name suggests, at least with our recoil springs, Snappy Boy, we want things to be moving quicker than they were stock typically, and that's what they do, and it goes down extremely well with everybody. And it's interesting because although there are springs with vastly different guns, the complements are the same. Like in terms of how much smoother everything feels, and it's nice to buy something that, I don't know, it almost feels like bespoke. Like I think that's such an awesome thing we can offer as like a two-man UK founded company. Is everything we sell we actually care about, like we really do, and we do spend the time and the money and the ideas.
You've not just found every single spring in an ARP and tried to replace it with yours. You've gone, this spring might need this, and we've made it to our spec. If a spring is working totally fine, there's no point in changing it. You're only changing things that
pretty much
you believe need a difference, maybe not like upgrade, downgrade, or however people like to word it, but it is, I like my platforms to run smooth, fast and aggressive, and that is what you've tried to put into your branding.
Definitely.
But my little light up there is saying that we've got some viewer questions, so if we throw up one of our viewers' questions to start with. Shadow Sniper on YouTube. Do you have any plans for the SMC9? Any parts?
We talked about this.
That's the G&G one.
That's the G&G
like
SMG.
it.
Yeah, we have to, because we get, that's actually one of the platforms we get asked the most about. Like that we don't already make for.
Yeah.
And we have talked about it because it's, I know the recoil spring, and some people are managing to get our short stroke spring for Kappa to fit in it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so done. Yeah, you just buy that. No, it's something we've definitely talked about.
We'd have to look at it.
Yeah, we need to own one.
So, yeah, no, it's interesting because that's exactly the type of platform where it's so new that maybe no one's really done parts for it yet. But because we're a small company, we can sort of take something, just analyze it if people want it, and move fast on it and make a spring. Because we already know how to make springs, so we can make it for a new platform.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, keep an eye on Waldo Customs and it may happen.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I do see the SMC is a platform that sits in a very sort of unique place, because it came out, it was very, very cool and everything like that. But with the AAP coming out on the sort of like the one that you've got up here, the body kit, it's very similar, if not almost identical to it. But it's a slightly different sort of beast than the SMC. If you wanted something that's a bit larger, stockier, and more sort of AR size, and because you've been starting with the AAP, you can see where the SMC may have taken a bit of a backseat. But apart from springs, there's the 3 lots of different lube down here. We've got the slim, the medium, and the thick. Double C deliberately for
it is thick.
It's thick. It's like honey.
So again, I take it it's on a similar process of the springs. It's something that wasn't in the market, and you wanted a sort of range or something. Is it a similar sort of road to
for sure
production?
For we talked about lube was like a huge one that we did. That was our first big leap, wasn't it?
It's a lot of work and a big investment.
It was, and it was so fun to work on. Everything from like the label to what we wanted the lube to do.
Yeah, because it's pretty silly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is like a fun product. It has like Easter eggs. Like if you read the label, you should check it. It's on the website. And we also wanted something with like variety, because at the minute all lubes look super boring.
Yeah.
And it's one viscosity, so it's like one type of thickness, and that's it. And that's sort of where it ends. And ours is like, there's different colors, so you can visually tell which is which. It tells you on the label what it's for. So we know that a lot of people ask, what lube should I put on this? What should I put oil, grease? What should I put on it? And this just tells you, just put this, use it with this part, use it with that part. And then, unlike other lubes, ours is scented, which is, we were the first to do that, and we are so proud. It's such a cool little feature. And it's nicely scented. It's not overpowering.
Yeah, it's not like...
It's not like, wow, that is jasmine.
Yeah.
It's like, that's nice. And then,
So in the future we'll have cordite scented gas for people's pistols.
Oh, I would
You have
love
work
nothing more. I'd love nothing more.
Yeah. Where do these sit? So you've obviously got the 3 different ones. Is it your slim is for pistols? Is it the medium for rifles, and the thick, or is it just how people have put things together, or are they designed to go with the platforms that your springs are in and your parts are in?
It's a combination of, it's like which parts touch which. So some are for gears, some are for pistol slides, some are for O-rings, and some are for nozzles. And it says on the bottle which one's for which. With medium, the yellow one being the most like broadly used. So it can be used on most things.
If you've got a varied amount of platforms, you only want one, you can use that and it'll get away with most things. But if you want the best results,
you get all 3, and then you can specialize.
Niche choice. So we have another viewer question coming in. So if we want to throw that up. Another question off YouTube. Do you think you will ever go down the route of CNC, slides, handguards, etc.? The Waldo Stat-Seco is a thing of beauty.
Staccato.
The Staccato.
Aye.
So this is your personal platform. I had a little toy around with it earlier, and it is. I think once you've got something that's fully built up, there's something that's sort of a little bit artistic about a finished platform. But yeah, so is it something that you've thought of? I mean, you probably can't see the table in front of us, but it's probably a very interesting segue to go to for the strategically placed prototype that is on the table.
Do you want to grab it? Do you want to talk about it for a bit?
So we can actually make things CNC'd. So we'll have a white background here.
Yeah.
Anyway, here. So this is a 3D print prototype of a in-house designed high caliber slide. People who follow us on social media will have seen that we actually ran the design project as part of with the public, so with a public interaction. So we had sketch designs made for the slide, and we let people vote on how to make the design for the slide. And this is what came out of it. It might be a bit difficult to see, but up here we can probably see it. We can see it closer to the camera.
Get it on too. So this was sort of a collaboration of yourselves and many public comments and opinions kind of thing.
Yep.
And obviously you can see with the amount of cutouts and everything on it, it's going to be lightweight. Obviously this isn't the 3D print, this isn't the CNC,
No.
but this is obviously, and again, 3D printing has opened doors that just make prototyping cheaper.
It's
Ideas can just be thrown together a little bit easier than trying to get something
it's
made.
not a fitment prototype. It's for look. So that's basically this is a revision 1 prototype. It's actually a bit old now, but we do. So now we're working on finishing up the details of the inside of the slide, because we didn't just go out to a slide manufacturer and say, hey, can you make us your slide but with different cutouts? We actually designed it from scratch and designed all the dimensions inside of it so it will fit TM series and so on. And it's a huge project to do that, and it's not done yet. So it's,
but answering his question, it is a definite on track project.
It's definitely on track, and we have this one slide project, and soon TM.
It's soon. It's always a soon project.
And it is high kappa based.
High kappa based.
5.1 high kappa slide, CNC aluminium,
Yep.
anodized in multiple colors.
Hopefully a variety of colors.
Yeah.
Or just yellow only.
As much as we love yellow, we don't think everybody loves yellow.
No.
Yeah. So with something like that, and again, that's the sort of customer feedback you've got. You've got the staccato behind you that's solid slide. Have you got a preference when that came out? Did you look at it and go, "Oh, I'm not too keen on that because it's all cut out," or do you have a preference when it comes to builds like that? Do you obviously you said you've come from Speedsoft, so that lightweight, cut down as light as possible, or looks?
I think that there's two different minds. The reason I like staccato is because I like the real one. And I also wanted a slide that was red dot ready out the box. Yeah. I suck with iron sights. There's no nice way to put it. But the slide really taps into my Speedsoft side of me, and I do have that. I have drum mags I run when I'm lazy. And it is just so much nicer and quicker just to ditch all your gear and just run something simple. And it still means I have a love for these slides, and I noticed that slides were starting to get more skeletonized, and I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if we could do it ourselves? But there just seemed to be something. I would see all these skeletonized slides, and they would just it almost felt like they were AI generated.
Yeah.
It almost felt like a machine was told to put holes in the slide and see what it looked like, and we wanted.
They were
to
just
make
putting holes in it. They weren't trying to save weight and keep that functionality. It was just, the space there, I can put a hole.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And it was just.
So, and again, this
cheesing.
has been thought out that you're not going to lose any structural sort of integrity of it.
That's a big problem once you start cutting away. Like even just the problem when you start cutting the slide, how close all the holes are to each other when you cut it during the manufacturing process is a problem, and then you have the structural integrity because you start removing material around the center of it, and that's basically where you have opposite forces. So that revision's actually been changed multiple times, and the current revision actually has additional material compared to this one for structural integrity.
Well, they're coming
it's
in.
A factor.
They're coming in fast now. We've got another viewer question. Ethan on YouTube, Waldo.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is a convenient segue.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the Boss Drama's build and the price points?
I I met with Bolster dudes today.
So yes, they we had the fortunate thing that the Bolster guys were down at the warehouse, so we took Waldo and Jeppe. They got one of the platforms. They went on a range. They sat down with a little chat with the Bolster guys. You showed them theirs. They showed them yours. All that kind of stuff in a private room. And then you got the Bolster rifle on a range.
Yeah. So. I knew that before I shot the gun and before I met. Well, first off, the Bolster guys, Mark and Jake, are some of the sweetest guys I've ever met. They're so kind, and they're clearly extremely intelligent in what they do. Absolutely silent people, and they really do I see like a bit of us in them, not in the sense that they're smaller than us or anything like that, and we're like overseeing them, but like they have that passion. Like they do want to make something better. Yeah, they do want to make people happy, and that was really nice to see. But I knew before I had to go with the gun that I knew it was going to be good, and I knew I was going to be like, it's still an AEG, but it'll be cool. And then I shot it, and I got really upset that I had such a good time with it. The thing that blew me away the most, when it comes to, because I come from GBB world, maximum rounds I can have in a mag is 30. So it's not often that I have 170 rounds at disposal. Yeah. And the thing that always held me back from AEGs was I love laying it down with full auto, and so to just but then your pistol grip gets hot, and then I get paranoid that I'm burning something and something will die whilst I'm playing, and I have to reserve myself, and it's just too much going in my head to have fun. But I was absolutely smashing it through EPM1 mags, and the grip wasn't even getting warm, and that was what made me go, okay, these guys have changed how they're playing the game now, and it's all that brushless motor and Bolster Armory's magic, and safe to say I got a bit jealous, but yeah, I can see why they're their price, and I think it's fair, especially with their warranty. That was pretty nuts to see. So yeah, I'd agree. Yeah,
so the return, you get the service and all that kind of stuff. That anything goes wrong, and they'll just take it back, sort it. Yeah. And that's not a case of they're expecting anything to go wrong. It's again, you've got that thing in manufacturing that there could be one tiny little thing wrong somewhere, and it's like, oh no, we'll sort that out.
Yes.
And you got your hands on it as well?
Yeah, I did. I had a quick look at the same sample as well, and I did shoot it, and it's nice. It runs nice. And yeah, with the brushless motor inside, we're back to we're no longer using like high speed gears and all that. We're back to, I think it's got 18-1 in it.
I think so.
Yeah. And it still runs amazing. It doesn't overheat. It's snappy. It's super efficient on the battery, which is a nice change. And and I didn't really realize that until today. I knew sort of the parts in it, but I never thought about it until today. This is the first off-the-shelf high-end gun with a brushless motor in it, pretty much, right? Yeah.
And did that, so again, obviously, like coming from gas and stuff like that, there's one thing like with the Titans and thing, you get that pre-cock in. I think coming from gas to an AEG, that trigger response is a big thing that could stop people going from the gas to the AEG, and I think that's one of the ones for me is that trigger response that it gives you. It's that double tap can just be
it's
quite
nice.
vicious.
It's nice because it's got DTU. You can spam it really fast as well. But also, I used to build like super trigger response fast builds, and I actually went away from it because it's not always about that. It's more about how you time, how you play. So it's nice to have the instant trigger response, but there's so many drawbacks to doing that having a gun that's just a bit slower but runs cooler and more stable is actually gives you a better feeling when you're playing than that pre-cocked max.
But a Waldo seal of approval at the end of the day.
But also the externals, like it's a nice gun, it's lightweight, it's well balanced. Like I take it up and I try and push the outer barrel and the handguard, and everything is just like rock solid, no wobble, but also no bending. It's like the parts are very solid in themselves.
And we like we took the mag out, we start shaking it, and it doesn't make any noise. There's no rattling, there's nothing wobbling.
No soundtrack.
It doesn't make a soundtrack. No, it's mute. It's great.
So we're getting more questions in. So we'll have another viewer question.
Groovy.
SJASC on YouTube. AEGs have moved on considerably. Have you any plans to make AEG parts?
Maybe.
I'll let you...
Again, this is another cool segue for things that are on the table in front of them.
I see.
Here's one we made earlier.
Yeah, here's one we made earlier. So, This is a hopper bucking. I don't know
Oh, that's
if.
There
Oh,
you go.
okay, nice, awesome. So this is what it looks like.
If you've never seen a hopper
Yeah,
bucking
in
before,
case this is what it looks like.
revolutionary, and it's in yellow.
It looks
Yeah,
like
and
of
it's in
course.
yellow. So we actually went through a surprising amount of effort to get the right color of yellow just for the bucking.
it's true.
Yeah, that's the pain we have in Waldo Customs with making products. It's got to be a nice yellow. This is just a bucking. It doesn't have a ton of amazing features, but what it does do is that it fits perfectly in everything. It never jams, and it has perfect airseal, and that's a really ambitious thing to say. But we actually went through a lot of revisions and tested the bucking in a ton of different barrels and hub-ups and rifles. And made sure to adjust it so it's a perfect balance between them.
So with that, when you're looking at you were looking at AEGs or things like that, out of everything or every part that's on an AEG, what was there a fault that you had or anything like that? What drew you to the bucking to be the thing that you wanted to make?
Well, that's a good question. It fits into how we work with parts and so on right now, because we're a small company. We can't go out and start big projects, and we focus on products that we can buy, that we can order in a reasonable amount, and then we can sell it without having to do a lot of support. If we sell a gun and it breaks, and they sometimes do, we have to organize shipping and take it back and so on. So we focus on small products and so on. But also, it's the bucking comes. It's also Waldo also agrees with this product, but the bucking comes more from me, because for many years, like I've tech guns for, I don't know, 10 years or 15 years or something like that. Yeah, and the bucking is the most critical part, and it's only something companies and players sort of started to really realize the last 5-7-ish years. But there's a few brands in the industry that has just been as stable. It's like, you use that bucking. And why do you use it? Because it doesn't do anything special. No, but what it does is it just has a really great fit in most guns when you assemble a gun. And it doesn't matter, like you go out and you spend $1,000 on a gun, and you lose 30 FPS or 50 FPS on the airseal because it doesn't really fit as well. And it's like all the efficiency goes out the window. The gearbox will break because it's not air sealing and so on. You go the other direction, and you have a bucking that's like, oh, it's got a really nice air seal, yeah, but the BBs are jamming. So you can only use the best BBs, and you get one jam in a high-speed AG, boom, you can go home and repair the gun. So this bucking is designed to have very wide lips, so the BBs, they will just not jam. That's part of what I tested for, is does it actually fit and not jam with BBs. So you can just run it for years and it won't jam up. But on the same side, on the same thing, the feed lips are also designed to have a very nice contact with the nozzle. So you have the best of both worlds. You have great airseal and low jams.
So it was the linchpin part. You've gone through the AG, which is the linchpin part. You want to make the best bit that will sit there and just fit in everyone's build.
Yeah.
I think
it be a benefit to any build.
I think it's like when we make anything, is we want to make something that's high quality, but for the most part is like just so simple for everybody. Like there's no complications. There's no so now I need Teflon tape to seal this, and I need to match this with that, but it only works with this and not this brand of BBs. We just want, you buy this, done. You don't need to ask questions. It's very simple. It doesn't matter if you've been playing a week or 10 years. You can buy this and you'll be happy, and it solves the problem, and it just removes headaches. And that's what we really like making. It's just stuff that works for people.
Yeah.
And obviously that will create a very strong sense of ownership and things like that. And at what point do you sort of is it once the product is sat and you're ready to ship it, or is it once it's been out a little bit and you get a little bit of feedback? Where's that sort of, is that where the payoff is really, the sort of that sort of pride point? Is it when you've got it in your hands you think I'm happy with this, or is it once it's out and you've had a little bit of feedback?
For me, it's when it's out. I think that when it's been a week and you start seeing videos pop up of people showing it off, having a great time and chilling, I love that.
Well,
if you've added to someone's good day,
for sure,
it's a very good sort of buzz.
Yeah, for sure. When people speak of you well, and then that trust builds. That like if you do something good once, people assume you'll do it again, and we try every time to do the best and improve. And it's just so nice to see people say, doesn't matter what you're bringing next, we're excited for it. And that's
true.
That's
like,
the biggest payoff for me.
Like the support we have from the customers / fans of the company is amazing.
It is insane.
It's really great.
And does that add, maybe not pressure, but does that add a little bit more focus to you when you're bringing a product
it
to
does. It certainly.
You're not just going to get to a point and say, right, yes, we'll put that out. If something needs changing, go back, start again.
Definitely.
And
it's only good. It's
it's
good or nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And it also means you respect the customer a lot more, because sometimes you might be like, okay, it's just this, and you're like, no, it's got to be good because we're making this many of it, and people like the last 5 have been good, so the next one's also going to be good.
Yeah. And
it's going to be worth the customer to investigate and buy it and test that. It's got to be something new.
Yeah. We want people to be invested in us.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sweet that people can like pay for stuff to like let us like exist and like live.
Yeah.
But we want people to be like us and to enjoy us as a brand and as a company, so that we can, you know, enrich what they do and have like a brand they can trust in a sort of way.
So we've got another viewer question.
Yeah.
Sonny Hutchins, will you mod shotguns? Always love the builds and hope you get an AAP upgraded soon. Not an app, but it looks like he's wanting to build one of yours. But he's also got his eyes on a Waldo shotgun.
Well, I've done custom shotguns before, and it is like the fattest headache I ever went through. And they're very cool though. I don't know about, because I do some custom builds in my spare time, but I have to knock them out one at a time, and so that it's not a quick process.
I presume he's probably on about the TM or something like that, the gas shotguns. There's so many different parts and sat valves.
Yeah, every time you rag it, it makes the noise of a cash machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, nothing's ever out, but the slides and the parts are the current.
It's
sort of
actually
focus.
a good point. Because I used to have to repair some of the TM shotguns, and it's impossible to get the TM parts, and even then, you're getting a stock TM part again. So there's a point to it, but I don't know. We'd have to look into it.
Shall I share some insider knowledge, some little trivia? When I worked at TAP, worked with TAP, they loved the TM870, but they noticed the pump arms on them kept breaking. Yeah. And it was my idea to get CNC ones, and it blew their brain, and now they have CNC pumps that exist.
Oh, do they?
That was originally my idea, and they did it, and credits to them, they did a goddamn good job of it. So yeah, it's cool that exists.
Yeah.
So again, with the sort of grand scale of all the sort of various different things that you've got, sort of where do you sort of see Waldo in sort of a few years? Obviously you've got the slide, you've got the bookings and stuff like that. Are you sort of on that path of being an upgrade part company for the foreseeable future, or would you want a Waldo pistol or something like that at some point?
We are making a minigun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're making a tank.
Yeah. And our tank.
It's a very early on, I won't say anything specific. Very early on, we toyed with an idea of something, if you remember. Very early on, we were talking with other people about doing something together, and that being so vague. And yeah, I think we would both love to make a gun someday. I think that is something cool. But I say we would love to. That's your headache to deal with as the sourcing guy. It's my job to sell it.
You get to deal with the customers.
Oh, that's true. When it breaks, that will be my problem.
Things break, even the best stuff. And the thing with Waldo Customs is that all the products have been picked, even like before designing and all this, they've been picked as products that can be sold easily. The customers have like access to videos that explains how to install it and use it and what a product does. And they don't really need to contact us. We don't need to ship stuff back and forth and so on. And to go from that to making guns is a big leap. So I've worked on guns before. Like I build guns, but I also design guns and so on. And it's something we could do, but there's a lot of backsides to it that a company needs to be capable of handling.
So it's probably best just keep going, get a Waldo part for every part of a gun, and then in 5 years when you've got every part, it becomes its own thing anyway.
Well, as you've seen from like the test samples we have, WaCu's existed. Is this the third year? I think this is coming up to the second or third year, 2.5 years. Something like so I think we're accelerating at a pretty quick rate for like the project complexity we're taking on. So I think, you know, if you double how old we are, it's just going to keep growing, and I think that's what the staging we're in now is, I think, really exciting, because we've gone from springs and short strokes, which we love to make, to things that are getting bigger and more complicated, and whilst it is more of a task to do, it's super cool.
That high caliber slide is like one high caliber slide is more complicated than all the springs and all the other products combined.
For sure. There's a reason it's taking so long.
So we've got another viewer question. Hi from the US, Airsoft Sam. We love Waldo products over in the US.
And we love the US.
Yeah, we love you guys. Excellent work.
So what we will do now, we're about 40 minutes in already, so we are going to take a very short break. We'll have a little ad reel come up, and then we can come back, have a look at Waldo's sort of personal setups and how they sort of function, how he plays on the field, and we'll take some more questions. If you do have any questions, keep going with them, keep dropping them down below, and when we come back we'll try and flash as many up as we can, but hopefully we won't be too long, and we'll see you here very, very shortly.
At Patrol Base, we believe every airsoft gun deserves a home. Even the ones that have been left battered and bruised. These guns don't need donations, they need homes. Visit our Boneyard section today, because you're not just getting an amazing deal, you're helping save an abandoned airsoft gun.
This is Billy. Billy wants to buy a new airsoft gun. He seems to have his eye on the Tokyo Marui Scar L. Is that right? But Billy's seen the price. Is that a bit out of your price range, Billy? Well, not to worry, because Patrol Base has many finance options available. From interest-free finance to buy now, pay later, we can find an option right for you. In store, our staff can talk you through the options, and using our handy portal, you can fill out all the details needed. If you can't make it to our store, you can take advantage of all of our finance options online. Simply complete your basket, and in the payment options, select the finance option that best suits you. If you're having any trouble, our helpful customer service staff are just a phone call away. So what are you waiting for? Visit Patrol Base today. For full terms and conditions, please visit patrolbase.co.uk/Klarna-payments.
MOLLE, which stands for Modular Lightweight Load Carrying Equipment, is a universal attachment system across clothing and tactical equipment, for example chest rigs, pouches, backpacks and more. Two main styles exist, one being the traditional loop and the other the more contemporary laser cut, which is lower profile. Both are interchangeable.
Morning ladies and gents, I'm Stuart from Patrol Base.
I'm Pete, and this is Mike, we're from Patrol Base.
Hi, I'm Sam from Patrol Base.
Hey guys, I'm Pete from Patrol Base. It's our late night Thursday and tonight it's Vorsk night. Let's go.
Hi ladies and gents, we're at the end of our Vorsk evening and we're going to give some prizes away. So everyone that's on the leaderboard that has managed to guess the correct number of targets, we're going to draw from a hat, and we've got many t-shirts to give away.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Jack. Where's Jack? Is Jack here?
Anti-climax.
Hampson. Oh! Danger Club.
Number 11.
Pete Roberts.
No, he's not here.
Not here.
Number 17.
Is James Morehouse. Not here.
Number 16.
Ryan McSweeney. Not here.
13.
13 is Tim Richardson. Not here.
15.
Alex Gruber. Die Hard. What? Not here.
Number 5.
Callum Leach. Hey. Come and get a t-shirt. Where are you? What? Next
Number
one.
3.
Maloney. P. Maloney.
Baloney.
Post Malone.
Is that a yes? Not here. Last t-shirt.
Number 14.
14 is Mr. Lockwood. Mickey Lockwood. Not here either. Right, our final grand prize for the Vorsk evening, guys, is a brand new pistol. The people on the scoreboard here got hit 3 targets in under 5 seconds. So if we'll have 1 ticket drawn out,
One
please.
draw. Oh.
Number
Very small paper. Number 10.
Number 10
That
is
means nothing to you.
Leon Garth. He's
Mr.
not
Garth.
here. Is he here? I heard.
Is there anybody here?
No, no one's here. So we'll contact Leon, and this is the little one.
So congratulations Leon on your new Vorsk pistol. Well shot. Keep an eye out on social media, guys, for news of any upcoming late night Thursday events. But until then, we'll see you later.
Now, my daddy didn't teach me nothing about much. But he told me that your AEG is either working hard or hardly working. With our wide range of AEG replacement and upgrade parts, you can give your AEG the TLC it deserves. You would have made Daddy proud. Don't fall short on your next airsoft game. Stock up your airsoft supplies at Patrol Base and enjoy our generous bulk buy discounts. Shop now.
Welcome back. So we are freshly watered and we have seen plenty of questions come in. So we will go straight back to some viewer questions. Kenneth, one of our long-time viewers, he's been over on some of our events. He's you've met Kenneth before. Kenneth. He came over for the Evo event like 3 years ago. He's come. He's flown over. He's from Denmark. So we've spoken many times. Absolutely gent of a human. Very much looks after people. Are you going to make a Waldo Evo?
No. There's no official plans about that.
No official plans.
Yeah.
You got some springs to go in an Evo?
I don't think so.
No. Unfortunately not, Kenneth. You'll have to stick with the 5 that you already have. He's definitely got a fair few. So we were speaking in the break that we were going to go through the personal platforms of Waldo, but the red light's come on again, so we'll have another viewer question.
Okay.
SJ on YouTube. My experience with the Novrich G series is that it's extremely sluggish cycling. No matter the adjustments to the pressure, it just doesn't feel crisp. Do you guys do any compatible drop-in recoil kit fixes?
I believe our stuff works in it. I think I've had people tell me it does.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, we do. We sell a spring and a short stroke kit that'll fit in it. They should help with that, definitely. Yeah, I think so.
So it's the recoil, your recoil spring will probably replace and give that snappy and take away that sort of the buttery smooth that you're trying to add to things.
It'll definitely add that.
And a few other parts. But as always, do you have a sort of general point of contact for questions like that? Obviously here it's quite easy to throw it in, but there's probably various different places that they can get hold of you.
Yes, so
and where are they?
I spend every morning 7 days a week answering questions.
That's true.
So you can find us on our Facebook, Waldo Customs, on our Instagram at Waldo Customs. The website has a email which is contact@waldocustoms.com, and you can ask us questions there, and I answer them every day. And
there's no such thing as a silly question, just silly answers.
Oh, there are silly questions. I promise you.
So we've got some more viewer questions coming in.
Okay.
Ed Taylor, if you don't start making VFC Glock parts, I'm going to have to start squatting in your new office.
Right.
That's from Ed Taylor on YouTube.
Well.
So VFC Glock parts.
Yeah, we do get asked a bit about this, but at the same
are there sort of drastic compatibility issues with?
It's
sort of
probably
platform?
cheaper to have him squatting than
yeah,
starting
that's true.
a production
We could
of
do
VFC parts.
we could do with some friends.
Yeah.
So
that's fine.
Actually, we could do an employee.
Yeah, if he'll stay there for free, he can sort some of
you got a
the
tent in
shelves
your
out.
office. You can throw that.
You can do the
Yeah.
customer questions.
He can
take my word.
He can package stuff on the floor if he's squatting.
That's
That's fine.
true.
We save a table.
That's
We
true.
don't have to buy a table.
That's true.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question.
we
We'd
accept
love to have you squatting.
We accept your application.
Yeah.
So they're not going to make VFC Glock parts. You can just live
Is
in
that
their
what
office
it's about?
instead.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So we've got. We were talking in the sort of break about sort of personal platforms and where it comes, and obviously the Staccato was there because it looks good.
It does.
And obviously you got hold of this. So what have you done to this? Obviously you've got the optic and the torch.
Aye.
Excellent choice in optic.
Yeah.
I love the frenzy stuff. I think the dot's very, very clear.
Yes.
Very, very wide opening. Light transmission's really, really good. Torch, it's a surefire. It's a solid choice, but you're sort of leaning towards other stuff at the moment.
Yep.
For various things. But what have you done to this internally?
Nova, which is another aftermarket parts company based somewhere in Asia, probably Taiwan, make sets of real life 2011 pistols, and they did the Staccato, which is one of my favorite handguns in real life. So I immediately bought it when it came with a complete upper and a frame with most of the bits in it, and then I bought the grip and everything else separately. For the most part, it's Nova parts. I did a whole video on this on my YouTube channel, which everyone can watch when I go into big detail. It's like a 30-minute video. It's actually quite interesting to see how these expensive kits work.
We love the shameless plugs.
Yeah, we do love the shameless plugs. The only bits that I actually did swap in the end for aftermarket that aren't Nova is PDI barrel and PDI bucking. And that's because I'm a massive fan of the PDI bucking. It's super old. When you buy one, it comes in like wrapper that feels like it will deteriorate in your hands. It's like ancient Japanese artwork. And then PDI barrels I love. They're just incredibly good steel, and they make some killer stuff. And other than that, I just threw it all together. There's definitely fitment stuff. So if you are going to get into these big kits, you need to know your stuff with fitment, and you need to know if something goes wrong here, how to fix it elsewhere, type thing.
Yeah. They're not normally fall together bits. There's a lot of polishing, a lot of cleaning,
definitely,
and things like that. The way you've been going through that, it just brought up something in my head as a question. Sort of obviously, looking out there, there's lots of other internal parts companies and things like that. Obviously, you're doing springs because you saw that gap. Are there parts out there that you just think there's no point us doing it because there's already a solid choice there that you would put in all your things, like barrels or things like that you're maybe not interested in doing because you already trust a part yourself?
There are loads of companies out there that make stuff that I think is like amazing. Like randomly, things that I can think of specifically in the AAP, TTI make insanely cool triggers for AAP. They make an insanely cool fire select. I love that it could be ambidextrous, it could be swapped as a select in it. It's so cool. JV Tactical, they make the HPA adapter. It's made of this lovely SLS material, and that's another thing where every time I like hold it, I'm like, I don't think this can get any better. Like I really do think this is it. It's not going to get better than that, and I'm okay with it. I can own it. So there are definitely some things like that, but when it comes to stuff like barrels or buckings, I think every time I'm like, this could be a bit different. This could be, there's sometimes it's marginal gains, but that could for some reason just doesn't happen, and sometimes it's glaringly big things that I'm surprised people don't do, and that's what we discover when we do these tests and sourcing.
So going to the AAP that was on the wall behind me. So this is your one.
Yeah.
Again, you can tell because the branding is even on the light.
Yep.
So again, body kit and parts and things like that. Apart from externally and all the tricky things, any of your parts in this, all your springs and so what have you done internally? Obviously, we've got the HPA and the SMG5 straight mags on the bottom.
Yeah.
But what have you done inside of this?
So inside has our nozzle spring, our recoil spring, our short stroke kit, all that good AAP goodness, and then meshed with our lube to get it butter smooth. And then we run a CTM bolt, a lightweight bolt, which we will be soon selling in the coming weeks. We're just waiting on a delivery of it, and it's been a long time coming, but they are coming, and we do like them. They have these lovely Swiss hole designs in them.
It's almost like a hexagon sort of beehive.
And the really
look
cool
at the top
thing,
of it.
you can see our springs through it.
Excellent.
And if I didn't have that rail on top, which the pistol version of the AP doesn't, you could see our recoil spring in it too, so you get that lovely two-tone look. And then I have like cow steel internals because the hammers and AAPs unfortunately made of cheese, so they just do kill themselves. So it's nice to have something strong and durable. And then again, PDI bucking barrel, bread and butter, and that's about it. I think the AP is pretty strong. I even keep the stock hop chamber just because I like you can put your finger through the breech and adjust it rather than having to tear the gun in half.
Right. Yeah.
So I like something that's quick and easy to get to.
And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because if you have the stock on, you have to take the stock off
Yeah,
and split the gun. Oh, it's exhausting. So I just like putting my finger through the breech. I've got baby hands though, so that's easier.
So whilst you're on a field, is this something that you're preferable to sort of pistol sort of play out? So you were saying that it was Speedsoft in the past. The AAP is just an astronomically popular platform nowadays because they just work and have 1,000 different bits and sort of possible builds that you can do. And I think the freedom gives a lot of people options. So
Definitely.
Is this that your sort of go-to platform and style of play, or is it the gas blowback sort of rifle heavy hitter
It
type?
Depends on my mood, and it also almost literally depends on the weather, like if it's hot or cold, because sometimes you're sweating, and that thing is incredibly light.
Yes.
It weighs nothing, and it's easy to play with. The last time I played, I ran my handgun AAP, and I ran it with the same adapter, but I borrowed it from a friend. It was some of the most fun I've ever had. An incredibly good day. I used it all day long. And it was just nice to sort of forget about everything and not worry about mag changing, all of this stuff. I could just go out and have fun. So there are definitely days like that. I'm yet to use that one. I'm bringing that one to National Airsoft Festival in August, which I'll be going to. I'll also bring my Vipertech, and I used the Vipertech the last time a year ago at the National Airsoft Festival. But I had so much fun with that. That was my first time using it, and there's definitely fun to be had in the realism of it, and just although 30 rounds isn't a lot to have, it gives that fun back.
Yeah,
everything matters.
I've always had that, and again, it goes down to your personal play and accepting that your personal style of play isn't how everyone else does it. So by all means, run high caps, do whatever you want. But I quite like having that sort of that limit that I might not have enough ammo to do this, change and do, and finding out your sort of admin processes of gameplay and sort of just stretching yourself a little bit and almost putting limitations in games makes it more fun rather than just going, I'm going to have 1,200 rounds in that. But yeah, on the other side, a Crytek LMG is also a lot of fun. Running around with lambs, but you know about that after a while.
Definitely.
Platforms yourselves that you're running now, do you still go to that insanely cut down skeletonized M4s, or are you running slightly different things?
Well, the thing is, like, I often end up not playing with the stuff I built, but it varies. So I've actually been dabbling in HPA recently. So I built a Sequitur Aquila into which is like an Aris Stoner LMG.
The LMG.
Yeah, so I rebuilt it. I rebuilt the magazine to work properly with HPA speeds, and then I installed an HPA engine in it, and it's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun, and so that's something I've done the last half years, and but it's on the bench now again, and. Then I have an ARP9 actually, and I had it mostly for R&D purpose, but I also play with it, and I do like it. It's an AG. It's set up. It's in Austria. Everything is semi-only, so it's set up for at 420 FPS and decently fast semi-spam, and then just a big drum mag. So. I don't have any kit or anything. I slap a ghillie suit, a ghillie 3-leaf top on, and then I take my ARP9 with a drum mag and I go out there and crawl around.
Run around, do whatever you want, hide.
Just
and again, we say it on every stream, play how you want to play, not how people tell you to play. If you like to play a certain way, grab it. If you want to run with something like that, something like this, or something like that, or you want to stick a 700 round Mega Mag inside an ARP or whatever, do it, because you're having fun, not someone else watching
exactly.
And again, the ARPs, I think the one thing with me with that is the drill kit that you can get with that is...
It's brilliant.
I ended
It's
up
great.
getting one of them, and Catrix and Milsims just sat there pretending to fix doors until people come past. You look at it and people go, it looks silly, it looks weird, but there's that one moment when it works, and it's incredibly fun.
Nothing matters.
And you can build things exactly how you want. And
That's actually pretty funny.
They
I
are
forgot
amazing
about that.
kids.
I've seen it, but I didn't.
Have you seen the Bob the Builder loadouts? People
No.
dress as builders with the drill kit and they'll run around shooting.
Really?
Oh, it's so
That's
good.
amazing. I gotta see that.
They're so good.
so we've got some more viewer questions dropping in.
Yeah.
Speaking from personal experience, I've used 120%, 140% high kappa recoil springs from multiple brands, and even the 140% spring weren't providing the same level of responsiveness as the Waldo springs.
Wait, is that?
That's not. It's not a question.
That's-
That is just.
Thank you for the
That's good.
compliment.
Oh, thank you so much.
He's basically saying that he's had 120 to 140% springs from other people. Your 140% spring is giving the better. I think it's that buttery smooth, and rather than it just people building power levels and everything like that, you've got the attributes that make them work as well.
Definitely.
So it's not just power; its functionality is a strong.
There's a lot of springs out there that are way stronger than the Waldo Customs springs, but it's not about that. It's
No.
about having fitment, especially if you buy 10 springs that they all fit. It's about having a surface coating that doesn't wear off after half a year.
Yep.
And it's about having a spring that's actually not too strong, because they are gas-driven guns, and you put the strongest spring in, and well, it's not going to work.
It
But the
kills
Waldo Custom springs are drop-in ready for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I read it as a question, but it was just simply a compliment.
that's all
that,
right.
the best kind of question. All of those.
So looking forward for yourselves, obviously we've looked at various parts that you're looking at. What do you see the future of Waldo Customs? Sort of what are you excited about that's sort of on the horizon that you could probably tease people with?
Do you want to do that? You do it.
Well, I
You
mean,
love them.
the slide's nice, but
Yeah, but this is like nerdy
So-
stuff.
we're also making.
You can do it.
There's more things hidden on the table.
There's
you can't
more things
quite
hidden
see.
on the table. So I don't know what's a good camera position here. But
If you hold it next to the mic, it's pretty much where you're going to be.
Awesome. So this is AG gears that has been completely designed in-house from scratch. And they were actually designed fairly long time ago, and it took us 8 months, 10 months just to find a manufacturer that could do it.
Yeah, just that long for that.
So finding a manufacturer that could make these AG gears was quite the process, and we finally found it. So they're not made by any airsoft manufacturer. They're actually made by a legit machining company that does gears. And they are chrome molybdenum steel gears, 18:1 for now. And one of the big focuses is on compatibility with some of the more modern AG platforms. We have 2 sets. One is a budget one, which is just black. And then we have a high-speed gear set. So this is a spur gear that has special machining cutouts for lightweight, low rotation mass. It also has a different coating, and this different coating allows us to put very nice coloring schemes on the gears themselves.
So we can have yellow gears.
We can exactly have yellow
We have
gears.
yellow gears.
For now, it's gold
Yes.
and probably with laser printing on.
Yep.
And then we have also a bevel gear. We also have a sector gear. It's not here right now.
No, we do have
Yeah.
all the gears in the special coloured set, but we can't show all of them just yet.
Yeah. So AG gears is, I mean, that's a pretty big and
That's
serious thing.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think to get people to have an idea, it's as big as the Kappa slide.
Yeah.
Like it's probably more complicated in terms of the Kappa slide is about getting, the Kappa slide the internals work, but the thing that takes time is getting it to look pretty.
Yeah.
Whereas with the gears, the time is putting into getting something
Nice,
extremely practical, and we've made
Yeah.
it colourful and pretty.
And they have to not break.
Yes, and that's the thing we have
So
to figure out.
do you again just something that I've just thought of then, with you being a smaller company, is there a sort of a little bit of your process going forward? Is there a bit of a fight against the potential bigger people? Are you just quite confident that you've got it right, and if we bring something forward, there's going to be no one else that can just go, oh, we'll do that? You're going to bring something to the market that is to your design and spec and going to work. There's no sort of, not oppression from the bigger companies, but do you find it's quite hard to break through with all the other things that are there? Because the amount of choices that airsofters have is massive.
No, because these products, it's the same thing with the hop-up bucking. It's just a bucking. Yeah, but it's not just a bucking. And the features it has is the kind of features you understand when you've been in the industry for 5, 10, 15 years and you sort of learn this kind of stuff. And the people that, for lack of better words, copy products don't realize that. Could someone copy the gears we make? Yeah. And an 18-to-1 gear set for AGs, that it's not new, but sometimes it's also about who makes it and who makes it available, and we'd like to be in that race as well. And sometimes innovation can also be accessibility. What shops can you buy it in? The fact that we design it here in Europe/UK and we control it. Someone comes to us and says, oh, hey, there's a fault in this gear. We'll just correct it for the next batch. Boom.
Sweet.
It's like you don't get that when you buy other brands. And also we have the budget gear set, 18-to-1, and then we have the more advanced gear set. So the more advanced gear set will definitely innovate in a couple of areas that no other gear set has really innovated in, and that's why some of it is a bit on the wraps. But for sure, anyone who's running a high-end gun is gonna want these gear sets. So I build tons of guns for many years. I build like high-speed guns, normal guns, high-power guns, and all this kind of stuff. And there is a lot of good brands in the market, but there's always like one factor missing. It's like it's high quality, but it's too expensive. It's high quality, but you can't get it anywhere. It's high quality, but it doesn't actually fit in the guns that people use these days. So this is a modern gear set for the modern tuner.
And we showed it to the bolster guys.
Yeah.
And what was initially meant to be like, oh yeah, we're doing this thing, turned into 45 minutes of asking questions, saying why haven't people done this sooner? This is super cool. Can we try one today? All of that stuff was immediately asked. And so, if people like Bolster are experts, are asking these questions, it was very promising to hear. It was nice because nobody's seen these other than outside of Patrol Base now, really.
This is pretty much the first time except for the April Fool's joke.
Oh yeah, we made an April Fool's joke that we'd make gears, and then we actually did it.
Double April Fools!
So we've got some more viewer questions coming in.
Groovy.
Sam, what's the best gun on the market today? I have an answer for this. Every time I get asked it, and I don't think there is one. It depends what you're doing for the day, but
Bolster set a pretty hard bargain, and I think best is a very typical thing because it's how you define best, and all this bollocks questions. So like, I think the thing that always happens in best argument is cost. Is cost part of what makes something best? Because you can pay $3,000 for a gun, and obviously you'd hope it would be very good, but you've paid $3,000.
Yes,
and so I think there are lots of awesome. I think we're living in a really cool era of airsoft where there's a lot of really cool stuff. Things like the AAP, cheap, under £100, innovates, does so much cool stuff, shoots damn good, and sure, some of it falls to bits a bit, but to replace it is still cheaper than competitive stuff.
The AAP has brought GBB taking for fun back, right?
Yeah, it's totally rebirthed building pistols up again. The High Capper did it, and it kept up for 6-7 years, but slightly started to simmer down a bit, and then the AAPs brought it back, and G&G, every AG they do, they're so cool. The ARP9 was insane when that came out. There's so much, and everything TM do, like the new Saga looks insane. The MWS is super cool. I think that we live in the golden era, really. And I think
do you potentially think that there may be, and again, being in it for a long time, you get to look at a few things and you can sort of soak it in. Do you potentially think there might be, it's almost too much for a new player?
I think there is definitely like sensory overload, and it doesn't help our branding's yellow.
Every product says it's the best on it.
That's true, and there are so many, not that word, passionate opinions about what's good and what isn't. But realistically,
and that's normally from experience, and because everyone technically has a soapbox now and can voice that opinion everywhere. If someone has a bad experience with one thing, they shout it to everyone.
Yeah.
And yet, if you have a good experience with it, you just carry on as normal because it's going normally. So it's a very hard thing for a new player to get a clean, unbiased view of something, and sort of settle on something that they want without getting their hands on it and trying it out and basically go to a game site and speak to people. Because the one thing I will always say about airsofters is they want to show off what they've got.
Yeah.
So if you're starting out, go to a site and just ask people about their stuff.
Yeah.
And if you see any yellow in it, you know where it's come from.
I think looking cool is half the fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's having something cool and doing well. But yeah, there's lots of choice for good stuff.
So there's more questions coming in.
Cool.
Chris Kaz, what do you believe the future of airsoft is?
Flying cars.
Flying cars, yeah, drive-bys in the sky.
I think that can be boiled down to it's where do you think the tech for airsoft is going to? Because I remember when I started, and probably when you started, that if you wanted a MOSFET, you basically had to solder it yourself, find out how to do it, and make it. Now, if a box doesn't say the word MOSFET on it, it's almost like it's not any good anymore.
Yeah.
So where do you see the next thing going?
I feel like brushless motors were the start of that. That's like, I think that's going to become a norm.
That brushless motors is going to...
It's the new MOSFET. People are doing it themselves, and then it will be...
It's still a bit high-end and difficult, which is why it's so great that Bost Armories does it out of box.
Yeah.
But brushless motors is going to be the future for AGs.
Definitely.
Like out of box, even cheap AGs are going to have brushless motors eventually.
But nothing as crazy as like the Infinity or something like that. Can you see that being?
Oh, you talk. Is that
system
the system and
yeah,
stuff? Yeah. Well,
turning your
like,
sex gear into your motor, essentially.
It's smart, but I think Ares already did a clone of it.
Yeah.
They did a picture of it, but there's been nothing
it's
of
not
it that
out
we've seen.
yet.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's, I don't know.
Because as soon as I saw that, I was waiting for someone to make an EBR that actually works really well.
The thing is, if you look at the design and you look, okay, can this type of motor or design be like mass manufactured cheap? And if the answer is yes, then eventually this type of product, if it's better, will start to be in the Asian made cheap AGs.
I think what I'm seeing a lot more of, there's a sister company of ICS called Mastermods, and they make R-hopped complete hop chambers and barrels and buckings, like all done that go for high capper. You just drop them in and it's good, and it's actually pretty cool. I think what companies are getting now to are, they're trying to sell guns upgraded to the point that most people would go to. Like, they've noticed there's this huge field for techs and upgraded parts and stuff, that they're thinking, how can we do this just out the bat? And that's why I think brushless motors fit in. So I think all these new high capper bits and new companies making high cappers, I think they're already trying to appeal to the pre-upgraded market.
And that leans into that. If it doesn't have the word MOSFET on a box, then it's not as good as the one that doesn't. And again, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
A MOSFET was something that you soldered together yourself, and it was there just to transmit power. There was no trigger MOSFETs or
but
anything
the
like that.
ETU now is like, every gun has an ETU now.
Yeah.
Well, except Crytek. But
but their build quality is...
Yeah, it's amazing. I love Crytek products. They're amazing.
I do like them.
And thank God they don't put ETUs in.
Yeah.
Because otherwise...
so we'll stick some more viewer questions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kaz on YouTube. With all the work WaCu have been doing in these past few years and the quality of it all, they deserve the support and trust people put into them. All the best. That's from someone called LGN Kaz on YouTube.
I can't wait for our holiday. A few years overdue.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we've covered a massive amount of stuff there, and as always, we appreciate people dropping in.
Yeah.
Just the positivity and everything is massively appreciated, and the questions as well. Again, if we've missed your question or anything like that, and there's something specifically you looking for compatibility or information, we mentioned it earlier. If you want to, there's emails, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. You can directly get a hold of Waldo and get all the information that you want. But again, if you want to drop any questions on the video afterwards, we can always pass them on and try and find out what we can do. But it has been an absolute pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you. It's been
I hope
awesome
you've
being here.
enjoyed your time here, seeing the bolster armorers guys, get your hands on that. And like what we try to do in our previous streams is, as much as people can say this and that, as soon as it's in your hands, that's when the stories truly come up. It's amazing to see that a sort of small UK company can thrive in what is a exceptionally competitive airsoft market, and is doing exceptionally well, and the passion shows through. And it's greatly appreciated to see it here today. But that is all for today. We will hopefully be back later this week. We're going back to our normal live streams. So as always, if there's something you want us to cover, drop us a message. We're more than happy to get other people in, and these streams are extremely fun to do, and if you can have fun whilst you're working, it doesn't really feel like fun work. But yeah, that's everything today. As always, it's been a pleasure, and we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Thank you for having us.